Again, a tinak din, 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 again, a tinak din.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Morid. And poor rich kids get their money on phone it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah. We got the good. Good of them assets, good of my bag. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We on the smash, now. Be prepared to hit the gas, yeah.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, and we travel.
Try.
Blood eye, and we travel.
Woo. That's my child. Woo.
Blood eye, and we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the high, yeah. Stereo Haka from Virginia, yeah.
I know I'm more because I'm blessed. I know I'm more. I passed the test.
We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, and we travel.
Try.
Blood eye, and we travel.
Woo. That's my child. Woo.
Blood eye, and we travel. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, and we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the high, yeah.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pair of races? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeezed. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tribe to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Esther Lusty. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy, I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
The privilege to sit down with an OG college professor, hip-hop historian, and he's also one of my mentors. Please welcome Dr. Cornelius East. What's up, Doc? Well. Brother Joe, you know you're like one of my sons. I look at you as a nephew, but your hip-hop counterpart is in a state of 911, you see. And these young motherfuckers.
A hip-hop story, now available for rental or purchase in most worldwide territories. At a hip-hop.
And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
Leave your land, and there's so much blood, sweat, and tears of the niggas in this land. Land belong to us. We go abandon our land. We were here when they got here. They just reclassified us as Indians, and the ones that didn't want to go on the reservations, they put them on the plantation and called us. The ones that didn't want to go on the reservation, they put them on the plantation and classified them as. The rest of them got reclassified as Indians.
No, man.
Hey, sweetie, why don't you bring that juicy ass over here and hop in Daddy's new whip?
Excuse me?
Peace to the party. It's your homeboy back again with the news. Hey, so I miss y'all, man. You know I had to tap in. We got to get to it. We got to talk about the reparations, boy. It's been going down in the state of California. All right. It's a lot we got to talk about. So basically, California just ended all the chances of a true reparations bill coming out of the state of California. And you won't believe the reason why. You'll think I was just capping if I told you this and we didn't break it down how we do. So on the final day of the session, it never even got to where it could be voted on the main two recommendations that was put forth. So we ain't gonna get too far deep into it on just my word. We're gonna take it over to the other side. We're gonna do a quick recap for those of y'all who ain't hip to how it all started. That's going to bring us to present day. And I also got some inside information for you. You know, it be going down on the Twitter, X, Clubhouse, all these different conversations and insights you get from the situation. But, you know, we do our fact checking, right? So let's take it back to when we talk about the history of the task force, how they first got going. And then we're going to walk it up to right now. So hold on. Let's take it to the other side.
launched its first-in-the-nation task force looking at possible reparations for slavery and discrimination against African Americans. California was admitted to the Union as a free state, but has a tangled history with slavery nonetheless. KPIX5's Devin Feely joins us now from San Jose with what the task force is considering. Devin?
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting that the state of California is tackling this issue. It's often seen as a national issue, something that is perhaps best left to the federal government. But at this point, all options are on the table, and that includes payments of money, education, economic and health programs, as well as criminal justice reform.
California, again, is poised to lead the way.
Governor Gavin Newsom kicked off the first meeting of the state's Reparations Task Force. The 9-member group will spend the next 2 years studying California's history and legacy of slavery and discrimination.
As Dr. Martin Luther King stated, this country has wrote a promissory note to African Americans that continue to come back marked insufficient funds.
California lacks the South's long history of slavery. Enslaved African Americans, historians say, were brought to the state during the gold rush and the years after. But California was officially admitted to the Union in 1850 as a free state.
There were groups of enslaved
1850.
African Americans brought into the state. They were essentially legally freed when the territory achieved statehood, but that doesn't mean that they were practically freed.
The task force will consider an array of possible remedies, from a formal apology to cash payments to education and health programs to criminal justice reform. It's not entirely clear who will be eligible, although the state's website says that there will be a, quote, special consideration for descendants of persons enslaved in the United States.
I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors, and I am ready to fight to deliver them justice.
What's even less clear than who's eligible is how much money, if any, will be dedicated to the task force recommendations.
I'm hopeful that the American people will have a heart to know the history of America and the struggle of the descendants of people who were brought here.
The idea of reparations has existed in one form or another since basically the end of the Civil War, but has never really come to fruition. It remains an open question about whether or not what California is trying to do will spur other states or perhaps the federal government to act themselves. In San Jose, Devin Feely, KPIX5.
And we first brought you the committee's meeting live.
All right, so check it out. So what backstory was that this was a story, right? A real deal investigation report supposed to come from the idea of reparations, and it was started in California. All right, which didn't make no sense in the first place, being the fact that California, like he said, didn't become part of the Union to the 1850s. Slavery was legally ended in the 1860s, so how they couldn't even, you feel me? There was no way that they could have even been participating in the slave trade like that when they got in the game so late. You know, so and that never even made sense. But irregardless, right? So then the task force, they go do what they do, and they whip up a report. Boy, they got all kind of shit in this report. We broke it down on this channel for those of y'all who've been rocking with us for a while. If not, we can tag that video in the comments later on, and if one of the mods can grab it. I can't even remember the title, but we definitely broke down this California reparations. But now let's get to the second part of it. So that you see the historic part, they get started. So here they come with the report, right? So let's track it. We walking all the way up.
In public hearings, the California Black Reparations Task Force today will hand over an extensive report to state lawmakers. Task Force holding its final public meeting right now at the Secretary of State's office in Sacramento. Its report, 2 years in the making, was released just an hour ago. It's organized into 40 chapters outlining dozens of recommendations. They include a formal apology.
40 chapters.
To descendants of enslaved people in the United States and financial compensation for harms descendants have suffered, such as over-policing and housing discrimination.
I'm calling for all of us to continue to make the case for a full reparations package. We are not asking for performative justice, but demanding reparations in all categories: satisfaction, restitution, compensation, apology, and guarantee of non-repetition.
After the recommendations are turned over to state lawmakers, they'll be responsible for turning them into legislation, which will have to be approved by lawmakers and the governor before reparations are made.
So look, doing what they do, right? Shucking and jiving, playing on the emotions. Now, to the task force credit or discredit, however you want to look at it, they did write a hellified report. And when I say hellified, I mean by length. Like there was a lot in it. But some of us broke it down, like getting to that source material, right? This is how we start talking about a gentleman by the name of Equiano. If you hip to the whole the slavery narrative, he is one of the most important literary figures when it comes to the slave trade, right? So he was in their report. So that led us down a whole deep dive. But check into the podcast on Sunday if you want the deep dive. But with that being said, they did put out a report. They did the work, right? Quality of the work is up to the reader, but they did put out a report. All right, so here they go, they deliver it. So now let's get up to present day. Let's get up to present day now. And let me show you what just happened the other day. And let me show you the fruits of their labor. Let's put it like that. Here we go.
Capitol, where the legislative session is wrapping up tonight, and lawmakers are deciding the fate of bills that haven't passed yet. We're just minutes away until the California legislative session comes to a close. Both houses had fewer than 200 bills combined left to go through. Some of the bills dealing with reparations. ABC 10's Garsh Sangha joining us live from the state capitol to explain more on this very busy day. We still see people behind you in the rotunda there, Garsh.
Yeah, Luke, and this place is buzzing with anticipation to try to figure out what is the status of their bill. And we are officially less than an hour away until we find out what the results are going to be of all the bills that they haven't voted on. If it is passed, it is going to go to the Governor Newsom's office to see if he will sign or not. But if it doesn't, it is going to die on the House floor. So we're trying to figure that out. But the biggest buzz in this building were bills that weren't voted on, like funding reparations. The final hours of...
Now make sure y'all paying attention here. This is very important on the specific bills that they didn't want to vote on.
The California legislative session kicking into overdrive as lawmakers try to get their bills approved. On Sunday, lawmakers passed landmark bills to make amends for racism. The proposal they approved allows for the return of land or compensation to families whose property was unfairly taken by the government, and in a formal apology for laws and practices that harmed black people. But the buzz surrounding the reparation bills package was over what wasn't addressed: direct payments.
We laid the foundation that those bills are critically important to, stand up what reparations would be here in the state of California.
State Senator Stephen Bradford authored SB 1403, aims to establish the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, while SB 1331 funds reparations. Both were not voted on.
We should have gotten it to the governor's desk. He never signaled he would veto the bill. He just said he had some concerns, as they have with many bills. But that doesn't mean you don't move forward with the bills, because, you can fix them.
The California Legislative Black Caucus pulled the bill because it said the proposal needs more work.
The bills that pass are not reparations. An apology is not reparations.
Chris Lodgeson, a reparation activist with Coalition for Just and Equitable California.
The only bills today that even had a chance of being called reparations or could even get us to reparations are the bills that did not pass. It's one thing if we go up for a vote and we lose. Oh, all right. It's one thing if we go up for a vote, we win, and it gets to the governor's desk and the governor vetoes it.
Supporters of the reparations say they're not giving up despite the setback.
It has to happen if we're going to have meaningful reparations to the people who deserve it. We're 160 years overdue for this.
And just a few hours ago, there was a glimmer of hope that those two bills that were not heard, they would be heard, but that hope quickly evaporated. So a lot of people that were protesting here disappointed with that outcome. Now, another bill...
Hey, don't he look like that boy off that 70s show? What his name was? Fez.
That we're keeping a close eye on is SB 1414. That would make it a felony to purchase a child for sex. That is what we're waiting on over this next hour to see
I hope they vote
how
on
the
that.
House is going to vote. But it's going to be a long 55 minutes that are remaining to see which bill is going to pass and which one.
That's crazy, bro. So Pete Gang, now hold on, what she say? Dr. King didn't say nothing about African Americans. Hey, they not hip. They don't know. This just a status, and this was a play to take us off the land. And these people we talking about right now are a part of this, willingly or unwillingly. We gonna prove it tonight. It's real simple. So Mac, what he say? He say, yeah, that term wasn't used yet. Negro in America was the term he used. Dr. King, that's a fact. All right, so check it out. So now I'm gonna play y'all a video real quick. One of the people we're going to talk about tonight who was a part of blocking this from being voted on. So let me show you that same activist they showed in that first video. Let me show you another angle.
The speaker need to bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they going to see this and they going to get mad at us. They killing their own bills. Then they're gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Okay? We don't care.
We need to
bring the goddamn bills up now.
The governor needs to understand that the world is watching California, and this is going to have a direct impact on your friend Kamala Harris, who's running for president. This is going to have a direct
I heard that, huh?
impact. So pull up the bills now, vote on them, and sign them.
We have
We've
the
been
votes.
waiting for over 400 years.
Now let's see if they put that on TV. Let's see if they put that on TV, because she right. These your people out here in Cali, right? Matter of fact, let me let you hear what Kamala said. Hold on. No, I gotta be petty.
For descendants of Africans enslaved. If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
Bruh.
Now, while she's saying this, look at her people now. Look how these Democrats acting in Cali. Hold on.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a reparations person.
Well,
But you
we
won't
should
vote
have
for the bill.
We should.
I
we should
supported the
have a
bill all
conversation.
session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Senator?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
it up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
So check it out. You see in this video, buddy with the bald head with the beard, his name is Isaac Bryan. He's a Democrat, part of this whole coalition, right? Black Caucus. You feel me? We're going to get to them in a second. So you can hear the dude. You can't see him. We're going to pull him up in a second, but you couldn't see him. But it was a Republican by the name of Bill Essayli, right? So he was the one saying, damn, why you ain't take it up there? Well, I'll go do it for y'all then, since y'all scared, because they was really scared, right? Or maybe they had orders to do otherwise. Only they know the truth, but we can judge by what we saw and what we heard, right? So we're going to get to Bill in a second. I'm going to show you what, because he was really standing on business. But you heard Kamala, she pandering. At the same time, she's saying this, your Democrat partners in the state you just came from is not standing on what you saying. How it's going to get to your desk if it don't make it past them? She knows she just talking because it ain't going to happen. We're going to show you why, though. All right, so look. First, we do our research over here. We like to entertain, hee-haw, and laugh and all that good shit. But let's go look at the bill, though. So let me get this out of my way. We're going to take it over here to screen 3, right? And we're going to read the bills because they knew that they do have a right to be mad because the bills that they did block just kill every chance of real deal reparations. And let me show you why. So we're going to take it to screen 3. We're going to start with SB 1403. So y'all want to go read along, whatever the case may be, I'm going to share it, though. So I'm going to put this first one here in the chat. Yeah, we got buku people saying all kind of stuff. What she say? The requirements, the problem will always be requirements to qualify for reparations. You are exactly right. And let me show you how. So right now, let me blow this up. This 1403, SB 1403. All right, so California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. So basically, we're going to go to the analysis portion of it so y'all can understand what's going on. So the summary of this is it establishes the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency to implement the recommendations of the Reparations Task Force as specified. So the major provisions creates the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency to be under the direction of a secretary appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate. Specifies that the secretary is to be responsible to the governor and perform all duties, exercise all powers, assume and discharge all responsibilities, and carry out and effect all purposes vested by law in the office. All right, so it requires the agency to implement the recommendations of the task force as approved by the legislator and the governor. Requires the agency, among its other duties, to determine criteria for determining a person's status as a descendant eligible for benefits. Requires the agency to include both of the following offices: a genealogy office to support potential reparations claimants by establishing a process for conducting or verifying genealogical research to confirm reparations eligibility and to provide expedited assistance with the reparations claims process. So they saying that this was supposed to help them set up a genealogy office. Why do you think they wouldn't want to open that up? Because they know when people do their real genealogy, it's not going to lead back to no West African slaves brought on no boat, and damn sure not to California. So why even give them the funding for that when they already know the answer? This is what we were saying in the beginning when we broke this down. All right. So this is what, and they also, just to be fair, there was an Office of Legal Affairs to provide legal advice, counsel to what you find in your genealogy. Now tap in the comments. Tell me what sense would them make if, when you know the truth about history and your own genealogy, why would they want to help you open up this and fund this research to help you with your genealogy, knowing they're gonna find you the owners of the damn land, bro? Come on, man. We got to tap in, bro. A lot of people, our people is voting for our own demise. We got to understand it don't matter if you fully align with these folks' party. Anything that's going to take us off the land and play these games with us, we got to be on top of this because these folks know what they doing, and this is proof of that. You know what I'm saying? So hold on. Oh, y'all booming in the chat. Hold on. Let me catch up. So that's the summary of 1403. And then 1331 is the fund for the reparations and reparative justice. So the quick summary is establishes the fund for reparations and reparative justice in the state treasury for the purpose of funding policies approved by the legislator and the governor that address the harm that the state of California has caused to descendants of enslaved Africans and certain free blacks. See, you know what? You see, they being real tricky with the word. This is why if you don't have an in-depth view of history, you should tap in Sunday to our podcast. We get more in-depth to history for those of y'all who on that type of time. But we on the surface level just talking politics. But I can assure you they worded it like that for a reason. All right. But even bigger than that, the reason why people are upset because 1331 was the money to fund these programs and policies, and 1403 was what the number one thing that needed to be funded, which was the genealogy office and the legal counsel. So they just killed the whole thing by not voting for these bills. But guess what they did get put out? They got the apology put out there. Is that good enough for y'all? Y'all cool with the apology? But they playing, you feel me? So that's the bills. So this is what we finna do. We got something special for y'all. So, you know, we really be out here in these internet streets with all the so-called historians, people talking about what they talk about, right? So we're going to play a conversation that is on public on X, you feel me? And is a certain individual from the task force who was speaking about what happened this day. So that way we can hear it from, we like firsthand sources over here, right? So we're going to play a quick commercial, then we're going to come back for this exclusive conversation so y'all can hear. We're going to chop up game, and I want to know what y'all think about it. So we're going to commercial real quick, y'all. We'll be right back, and we're going to get to it. Hold on.
When the
Yo. Do.
Whenever I start to feel alone, I just play your voice louder than I say before things change. Now I read the message you sent, trying to tune out when you say I know you love me, but you should just forget about us.
Yeah, check. Let's get to it. All right, so look, take it back over here to screen 3. All right, and we're gonna look into his buddy. This was Bill and Saley. He was the Republican in that video where the black dude with bald head was blocking, right? I want to read what he said out of his own mouth first. So this is what he put on X. He said, I want to be clear about what happened last night in the California legislature and my views on the issue of reparations. For years, the Democrat Party has been promising to pay direct cash reparations to Americans who have been harmed by slavery. They convinced voters they were serious about this proposal and that they would enact legislation to make it happen. When the time came to pass the bills, they went into hiding and refused to bring the bills to the floor for a vote. There were hundreds of activists in the Capitol being visibly ignored by the Democrats in Sacramento. They weren't even allowed to enter the public gallery to watch the proceedings. I've never seen that happen. I met with several members of the public there to support the bills. I found them to be sincere, honest, and deeply frustrated Americans. I believe there should be a debate and a recorded vote on the issue. Politicians cannot be allowed to make promises to the people who elect them and then hide like cowards when it's time to go on record. At minimum, the people were owed a hearing and an opportunity to know where their elected representative stands on the issue. I have always been clear about my views. I have not been supportive of California taxpayers paying for the wrongs of slave states. Perhaps slave states in the Democrat Party who fought for slavery should be the financially responsible. However, I do believe we need to have a conversation about making direct investments and important policy changes into communities that have been harmed by past injustices. This is a conversation Republicans are very much open to having. It's unconscionable that Democrats this year have spent billions on handouts to illegal immigrants, including giving them free universal health care and down payment assistance to buy a new home. These are people who broke our laws and just showed up in our country. If we have billions to give to illegal immigrants, then why don't we have billions to invest in our own American communities? In the coming weeks, I intend to have meaningful, serious, and productive conversations on this topic. My message to Black Americans is do not blindly support any political party or politician simply because of the letter next to their name. Make them earn your vote. All 80 members of the California Assembly are up for re-election. So Buddy just stood on business. Let's put this in black terms. This is the equivalent of you telling somebody, hey, when I see such and such, it's on fight, it's on site. We gonna fight, we gonna do what we do, right? And then you see that person and you don't got that same energy no more. So y'all saying y'all doing this for the ancestors, the whole nine, but then when it's time to actually go stand on this and bring it before the assembly for this to be talked about, y'all null and void. But I'm gonna tell you now, I don't think it was because of fear. I think that was because it was the play the whole time. They just trying to rally off the emotion and do what they do. I highly doubt this gonna get major media coverage because this gonna be bad for Kamala. You feel me? Because this her people in Cali, this her state. But I want you to see what the boy Bill say. So check this out. Now I'm finna take you over there and we're gonna go to this conversation. But before we do that conversation, I'm gonna tell you who we're gonna be listening to today. So in this live stream on Twitter, aka X now, we have Camilla Moore, who is a part of this board. So let me read the background real quick. Educated sister, you know, the whole nine. Yeah, they check all the boxes. You feel me? So Camilla Moore, she's the chair. Camilla Moore is a reparatory justice scholar and an attorney with a specialization in entertainment and intellectual property transactions. As a law student, Moore contributed to human rights reports related to domestic and international human rights issues, including but not limited to racial inequality in Brazil, the human right to sanitation in Lowndes County, Alabama, and the human right to remedy for indigenous Black women affected by racialized gender violence in Papua New Guinea. While studying abroad at the University of Amsterdam, Moore wrote a master thesis exploring the intersections between international law and reparatory justice for the transatlantic slave trade, chattel slavery, and their legacies. I would love to have a conversation with her because you say if you went between international law and reparatory justice, then you should definitely want to hear about the Black Europeans and how they was using this international law and how it superseded the indigenous people in this land, but not no Africans. All right, so you see, you hear her degrees. She got degrees, PhD, you know, all the whole check all the boxes. You feel me? So let's go over here and I'm gonna play the conversation and then we're gonna do a little bit more building on that. So give me 1 second to get this pulled up, y'all. Hold on. And I gotta tap in with the chat, but I know y'all been going crazy. Let me see. All right, so check it out. I'm gonna load it up. First, actually, you know what? Let me take this down because I wasn't sharing my audio. So let's set this up right. Hold on 1 second, y'all. But yeah, peace to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate the love y'all been showing us. All the latest video. I see Quint just say, Matt, you and Amos did it again. Yeah, it was fire, wasn't it, Quint? That's what we do over here, man. Quality research. We got several people over here doing what we do. Shout out to Mac and Amos. All right, so hold on. I'm going to bring this up and we're going to listen to this conversation. And I want y'all input, man. This is going to be Camilla Moore talking about what her viewpoint on why this didn't play out the way it was supposed to. All right, so hold on. All right, so I got my audio. All right, let's run it. Okay, so I'm going to play this conversation. There we go. Okay. Try it like this here. Peace to you, most hated. All right, play the recording. Damn, why I keep... Oh, there you go. All right, I'm going to speed it up. And I want y'all to let me know y'all hear it. If y'all can hear the audio, let me know in the chat. Sitting not yet. Damn, hold on. I know it's a lag behind me, but y'all should be hearing something now. Let me know if you hear it. Damn, sitting not yet. Damn. All right, hold on. All right, yeah, hold on. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it a different way because I want y'all to hear this. All right, so I'm gonna bring up a new screen. 1 second, y'all. Tab. All right, now this is gonna be right. This is gonna be right here. I got faith. Now this time, tell me, can y'all hear?
To post the Twitter link in the chat, so stop commenting in the chat. Everybody stop commenting. I'm moving everybody down. We're about to do the Twitter thing.
Let me know in the chat if you can hear.
Make sure y'all bless Camila Cash App. Appreciate y'all for the donations for the Queen. I'm about to post the link in the chat, but we gotta redo that story. All right, click the link in the chat right there. That's the link to the room. Everybody pull up. No more comments. All you gotta do is copy and paste that tweet. So copy that tweet and post it again, please. Thank you. Everybody come to Twitter. Everybody come to Twitter. Click the link. Click the link. Yes. Copy and paste that link. Appreciate that, bro. Justin. Yes. Yep. It's already open.
Thank you, guys. I'm going. Thanks.
She about to start talking right now.
Appreciate
Get
it,
your
man.
popcorn.
All right. Everybody click the link. Copy and paste that link in the chat. Everybody copy and paste it and post it. Keep posting it so everybody can come through because we're about to boom the room soon. Everybody click the link. Click the link. Click the link. Oh, we got my boy Reggie. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, we got.
This is a good room, man.
No, I appreciate that. No, this some shit. Camila knows who my family is, man. I wish a motherfucker would play with Camila out here in LA. Boy, it'll be what? I ain't gonna say too much though, but if you know, you know.
If you know, you know, you say.
Camila knows what the fuck going on. I wish a motherfucker would play with her. All right, click the link in the chat, man. Click the link. Click the link. We got 300 people in the room.
Lou, can I say something really quick? I didn't want to interrupt the person, but like, since we're still trying to get calibrated, I wanted to say this. Are you familiar with Chicago politics? Like back in the day? It's really important because back in the day, Chicago politicians would bring on Black like council members and stuff and elect them and, give them clout, give them money or whatever. But their role was to convince the Black people to vote against their interests. Are you guys aware of that? It sounds like in this regard, that's still kind of going on.
Everybody click the link in it. All right, click the link. We're about to boom the
Man, they just ignored her.
People on Clubhouse. How many people we got over here?
She was right though.
We got 120. Retweet the space. This is a Black American barbecue. We finna stand some Black American barbecue, y'all. Here, man. Because there's been a lot of weirdo shit. A lot of people thinking they bigger than the program. We really finna stand on this shit, man. We about to do history out. Let's have a real discussion. Top Boss, what's up? You want to say something?
Can you eat? All right.
Yes. Top Boss, you there? If not, we're gonna reset the room. All right. Hey, 2-8.
All right, so here we go.
Come
right
to
here,
Twitter. We're about to boom the room. There's still 240 people on Clubhouse. Let's come to Twitter. We on Twitter. I'm about to boom the room. No, you good. I'm just leaving the room open over here. All right. So
Trying to get organized.
Let me do a room reset. So we asking Black California. Well, this is not even a Black California thing. This is all Black American descendant of slavery. Democrats in California and the Black Caucus has committed treason against Black Americans. All right, so let's do a room reset. We got Camila Moore on stage. We got my boy from the ADOS movement, Reggie. Where's Dr. Goddess? She's a part of in Cobra. We're gonna bring a lot of people in here. I'm still waiting on Mary. Well, we don't need Mary Wins.
Remember that in Cobra name.
All right, so there was a bill titled SB 1403, which would establish a state agency that would oversee the state's reparation effect. And then it's another bill called SB 1331 that would establish a new state fund for reparation. So this bill was created by the state senator Stephen Bradford, right? So just to walk y'all through the process, right? So people can really break this shit down, because this is a serious conversation. So we're gonna talk about what just happened, right? But we got to understand the process, right? So hold on real quick. All right. So just to break it down, so the introduction, right? So this is like the process of creating bills in California. So first there's an introduction, right? A legislator introduces a bill in either the California State Assembly or the Senate, right? Then it goes through a committee review, right? The bill. So what that does is that bill is basically the bill gets reviewed and debated, right? Then it goes through the committee vote. So the committee votes on the bill, and if it passes, it's sent to the next committee or to the full chamber, right? Then the next process is the chamber vote, right? So the bill is debated and voted by the full chamber where it was introduced. Then we go to the part where if the bill passes through that, the chamber vote, is sent to the other chamber, which is the Assembly to the Senate or vice versa, right? So this bill went through every process. The people did everything right, and they ran into a hurdle, right? Which was the Black Caucus being a bulldog for Gavin Newsom, right? So I'm gonna let Camila get to the part where she talk about details of what happened. She's gonna mention how a Republican try to stand on business, and it was on a Lebanese Republican was on code more than the black representatives for the Reparations Task Force. So I mean, not the Reparations Task Force, the Black Caucus. I'm sorry. So Camila, you wanted to speak on that real quick, please? Appreciate it.
Yeah. So Senator Bradford's two bills that would have established a reparations fund, particularly for descendants of American slaves, and a reparations agency, as you mentioned, they have advanced through the legislature over the past 8 months without any obstacles. They have breezed through the Senate side because he's a senator, and that's where senators have to start their legislative process. It breezed through the Senate side, and it even breezed through the Assembly side. But for this past week, when the final step was for a full floor vote on the Assembly floor. And like you said, this past week, the Black Caucus came to him and said that they would no longer be willing to introduce the bills on the Assembly floor.
She said this past week. Keep this in mind, y'all.
On his behalf. And so, and then also on top of that, so while he's dealing with that sudden backstabbing and having to navigate that, trying to get at least one member of the Black Caucus to commit to introduce the bills from the floor, you also had Newsom's team coming to him, asking for last minute amendments on the agency bill. And again, keep in mind, he introduced these bills actually last year, but they've been going through the legislative session since the session started 8 months ago. But, people can introduce bills into the, early. But in terms of it actively going through the legislature, that started 8 months ago, and he's had no problems. And so Newsom this past week came to, like I said, Bradford, asking for amendments. So instead of it being an agency where, descendants of slaves would have access to benefits and different programs, and there would be a genealogy office to field eligibility. It would be a watchdog over other agencies and departments to make sure that our rights aren't being abridged or violated. Newsom wanted to change it entirely so that it would no longer be an agency, but he wanted to change it to a 2-year study bill on the task force's findings, which is weird. So why do you need a 2-year study bill to study the task force's findings?
Well, let me tell y'all why real quick. This is what we trying to tell y'all over here. Now think about this. If you are die-hard Pan-African, why would you? They say the record's hard to find, even though here we don't agree. They say all these things, right? Why would you not be front and center for wanting somebody to help you with that so-called hidden genealogy so you can prove your claim so you can be ready for your money? You see what I'm saying? So they know exactly what they're doing. They never intended for it to get to this point. They just thought y'all was gonna be cool with just the study. They're like, hold on, y'all must ain't talk to the other Negroes. Y'all supposed to just keep studying it. You ain't supposed to come with no report. They don't expect you to come with no report. Just keep saying you studying. That's where they messed up.
Like, that's weird. Like the California Reparations Task Force, we did the work over the course of 2 years to study and develop reparations proposals based on the state's actions and inactions against our particular group.
Exactly.
We actually, as a task force, just to conclude, when we were still active, because the task force has been over since a year ago, when we were active, we even considered extending the life of our task force, considering whether we needed more time to build out our recommendations. And we're open to it, but we don't need an extra year. 2 years is quite enough. It's time for action. And so just incredibly unfair that Bradford, this is his last year in the legislature. He's terming out. He's been in the legislature for 14 years. He served on the task force with me. None of the California Legislative Black Caucus, well, let me just say, Bradford served on the task force with me. He had a transformative experience on the task force. He said it was one of the most important aspect of his political career to date. And so I say that to say that is why he introduced such strong reparations bills at the outset. The CLBC claimed that they didn't want to introduce Bradford's bills on the assembly floor because they were mad at Bradford for introducing those two bills to create a fund and an agency without them, right? He introduced those bills independently without them, even though he's also a part of the Black Caucus. And so the Black Caucus interpreted the fact that Bradford did introduce these bills independent of the Black Caucus's package as Bradford grandstanding, as Bradford wanting glory, as Bradford wanting credit, as Bradford wanting to put the individual over the collective of the caucus. But what it really was Bradford had a transformative experience serving on the task force. He understood the gravity, not the gravity, but he understood the power that he had. And he wanted to do something substantial for his community before he left the state legislature. And so that's why he picked out some of the strongest recommendations from the task force's report to introduce them. He had the political will and courage, and the Black Caucus did not. And so I'll just say what happened in terms of last night, really just to conclude, the reason why these bills failed to be introduced to the floor and voted on, and then going to Newsom's desk, it was primarily motivated by two reasons. A grudge that the Black Caucus had against Bradford because of a perception that he wanted glory and credit. And interestingly enough, just to kind of nuance that a little bit, even though they were upset at Bradford from the beginning for doing that, they forgave him or whatever. He didn't even do anything wrong, but not forgave. They came to an agreement. And so throughout.
Nah, forgave is the proper word. I'm gonna tell you why. They hot with the boy Bradford because how dare you put us in this position? Because if we don't follow through on this, we gonna get some pushback. Because why would you say we want to open a genealogy office for these niggas, knowing we don't want them to know what's in their damn genealogy? Come on now. Hell yeah, that he had to come with an apology. He had to let them know I was tripping. I was trying to do this and trying to make myself look like a revolutionary because he finna retire. Hey, look, he finna leave them holding the bag. He say, I'm going out with a bang.
The legislative session, the Black Caucus actually ended up endorsing Bradford's bills for the agency and the fund, It was literally this last week they reneged, right? They backstabbed him, and they obviously did not get over the grudge that they had against him, and they committed to not bring his bill to the floor. So the reason why these bills didn't get brought to the floor, one, was primarily driven by the caucus prioritizing their own pride and ego over the interests of their community. But Gavin Newsom's team also bears the blame because they went to Bradford at the last minute to introduce amendments that would have fundamentally changed the nature of this agency. It would have made it toothless to the point it wouldn't even have been an agency. It just would have been a study bill, kicking the can down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And Bradford had the guts to tell Newsom, hell no, I'm not taking these amendments. I am going to push for a legislator on the assembly floor to bring this bill to a vote. We do have the votes. It is going to pass. And then Newsom, you're going to have to make the decision, because if, let's say, a legislator introduced the bill to the floor last night and it passed the assembly, which it could have if someone just whatever, which it could have, then the next step would have been today, between today and the 30th, Newsom would have had those bills on his desk, and he would have had to sign them or veto them. And so he didn't want to be presented with that opportunity. And so that's essentially what it is. It's like Gavin Newsom's team is partly to blame, and the Black Caucus blindsiding him the last week of session, literally the last 3 days of session. And Bradford and his team was so gracious and classy and so savvy in trying to get this bill to the assembly floor. And this is where the Republican comes in, Bill S.A. Lee. And so because no one...
So this buddy we seen in the video with the bald head black dude.
No Black assembly members in the caucus introduced the bill. The non-Black and the white Democrat assembly members also were not budging. They were following the lead of the Democratic Black Caucus members. They were seeing that the Democratic Black Caucus members weren't messing with Bradford's bills. So the white and non-other POC, I guess you could, whatever you want to use, the Democrat assembly members also weren't trying to introduce the bills. People who, like Matt Haney, Buffy Wicks, Ash Cara, who are so-called progressive Democrats, gave reparationists their ass to kiss yesterday, and also refused to bring the bills to the floor, because anyone could have brought the bills to the floor, Democrat or Republican, white, Black, or otherwise. But because the Black Caucus Democrats were not willing to introduce the bill, the other Democrats in the assembly followed their lead. And so this is where the Republican comes in.
Transition to Twitter.
It's this.
Lou, you off mute, Lou.
Oh, sorry, Lou. Okay, this is the last part. I'm trying to give everyone context. So this is the last part. So because I said anybody in the assembly could bring the bill, whether you're Democrat, Republican, white, Black, or otherwise, you have this Middle Eastern, Muslim, Republican, millennial, who I've never heard before. He raises his hand and says, I want to introduce Bradford's bill, particularly the bill that would create the reparations fund. And the Assembly Democrats pretty much blocked him. Blocked him. Said, oh, we're not on that agenda item yet. He said, oh, when are we going to get to that agenda item? And she says, oh, we're just not at the agenda item yet. So not even answering his question. And so then he tries again. He tries to introduce the bill again, and he doesn't get a second. No one else in the assembly seconded his motion. Interestingly enough, well, I won't even get into that part in terms of like that, but he couldn't get a.
She had cut out real quick. Wait till it come back on. But look, you hear what she said. So there's Camilla Moore, who was a part of the task force. All right, so this just ain't no random people talking on the internet. She giving the backstory of what was going on.
Rotunda area. After can you hear me now?
You're backing up about 15
Camilla,
seconds.
can you go back 20 seconds?
Okay, this is the last part, I promise. So after the Republican Bill S.A. Lee could not get a second, he leaves the assembly floor and he goes upstairs to the public. And I see him And I go up to him and I'm like, hey, I don't know who you are. I just want to say thank you for having the courage to introduce this bill because it deserves a debate, right?
Not a damn thing. What does California have to do with slavery? Nothing. This was why. But we all know if you cover politics, if something happens in California and New York, it says president for all the other places. This is Hollywood, right? They creating the whole play.
It deserves to at least be debated and voted on. And then he was like, yeah, no problem. But I just heard that Bradford.
Is the Wi-Fi back on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, boy, say the Wi-Fi back on.
Okay. He was like,
Lou, you off mute, Lou. You off mute, brother.
Bruh.
He told me, he said, hey, thank you, but I just heard that Bradford pulled the bill, so I can't try to introduce them anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? Like, why would Bradford pull his own bills? He's been trying so hard to find an assembly member to introduce a bill. He was like, yeah, well, they just told me that he pulled the bills and put them in the inactive file. And so that got back to Bradford, where
Hold on,
Bradford...
Camilla, and what file? And what file?
The inactive file. The inactive file.
And what does
meaning
that
that
mean?
meaning they couldn't be brought for consideration again.
Like ever, or just for
Ever.
for this?
Well, for this
Is it back
session,
on?
which meant ever. I mean, for this session, which means the bill would die.
Ever.
So all the work y'all have done.
But it's a twist to
go
this story. It's a twist to this story.
Y'all listen to this twist. It's crazy.
So I guess word gets back to Bradford essentially that this is what has been said, that you pulled your own bills. And then Bradford puts out a statement in the press and says, I did not pull my bills. That's a lie. So long story short, it was the Black Caucus who pulled the bills and blamed it on Bradford. And so the Black Caucus lied to Bill SAE and said that Bradford pulled the bills when it was really them. And then to add insult to injury, that was a rule. I mean, that was against the rules for the Black Caucus to put Bradford's bills on the inactive file because they weren't the authors of the bill. So Bill, he looked through the rules, confirmed that was against the rules. He goes back to the assembly floor. He tries to tell them, look, this is against the rules. They shut him out. They put a procedural rule on him where he only had 30 seconds left to speak. Then at that point, it's like 11:55, 11:56. The deadline is midnight. Sorry. The deadline is, my nephew wants to watch videos and he can't be watching YouTube like that. The deadline was like midnight. It's like 11:57. They're pretty much drowning him out, trying to run the clock out. And so he basically protests. They basically protest, and then he walks out of the assembly floor.
Hold on really quick. So when you say that so Bradford is Black, correct? Isn't he a part of the Black Caucus?
Yes.
Bro, he the vice chair,
yes.
bro. I mean,
Yes.
So when you say, I know. So when
he's
you say
the vice chair.
I know.
He's the
I know.
vice
But when
chair
you
of
say
the caucus.
I know when you say the Black Caucus pulled his bill, that means he was a part of that. Who in the Black Caucus actually pulled the bill? You can't say all of them because obviously he wasn't a part of it. So who pulled the bill specifically?
Good question.
Which person said we're pulling them?
That's a good question, Andy, y'all. You want to know specifics.
Yes.
Well, that's a great question that needs to be uncovered. Who exactly did it? But
he would know. He's the vice chair. He would know. He's the vice chair, right?
And how she don't know?
No, they completely iced him out this entire process. They put out a press release, and he had
How you ice out the vice chair?
he had to tweet that he had nothing to do with that press release. They put out a press release in the middle of the day saying that they weren't going to bring the bills, and he said, I had nothing to do with that press release. Even though I'm vice chair of the caucus, they didn't even consult me to put out this press release. So they just didn't give a fuck.
Well, isn't he the same person that blocked it from going to the vote, right?
Who?
The guy Bradford blocked it, correct?
No.
See, boys don't be tracking. He ain't hip. So let's go look at something real quick. Because his first question was awesome. Okay. So his first question was Buddy part of this him right here? All right. This him. Let me get myself out the way. Hold on. So this Buddy right here. What's his name? Stephen Bradford. Okay. Isaac Bryan, this is the one who was blocking the Republican. Okay. Lori is the chair. He's the vice chair. So you talking about second in command. So two things could be happening here. Let's say she telling the truth. And let's say that he was blocked. Did this black woman supersede this man and basically drop her nuts on him and say, I don't like what you're doing. I'm gonna veto this on my own? Possibility. Could he just be falling on the sword because she ain't want to be the one to look bad? That's a possibility as well. But here's what's more likely. Y'all are a unit. And anybody who playing team sports know that you win together, you lose together. So I don't give a damn which one of you was the one secretly doing it. I'ma just say it was all y'all, because that just make it easier. Because no way y'all could drop the ball like this if you really true to what you say you are. Let's just keep it a buck now. So these are the members. So let's just see their faces. Lori Wilson, Stephen Bradford, Isaac Bryan, Dr. Akilah Weber. Who we got here? We got Mia Bonta, Christopher Holden. Look at this nigga, Dr. Corey Jackson. You see how they always be in the African gear. Look at him. Madasaka. Kevin McCarthy. We got Tina McKeener, Mike Gibson, Lola Smallwood Cuevas, Reggie Byron Jones Sawyer, and we got Shirley Weber, Malia Cohen, and Tony Thurman. These are the people on the California Black Caucus they are saying blocked these two important bills from going. Now, why would these folks not want you to have a genealogy office? This ain't the big bad white man who done did this. It's one. So you want to say, oh, Kevin, they gonna put it on you, boy. You the fall guy. You better get the hell out of Dodge, boy. This finna all be on you. You the only white man here? Yeah, it's his fault, ain't it? Hell nah. This is a play that we've been telling y'all. They know that genealogy is the key. And we here at the party know that the genealogy truly is the key to tell you the truth about your story. And it ain't from no West African slave ship. That's what we can assure you. If you are what they call foundational Black before colonization, however you want to term it, if you were labeled to be one of the West African slaves through slavery here, there is a great chance that your genealogy consists of Black Europeans and Black Indians. And I say Black to describe skin only, not by status. Let's make sure we on the same page. And I'm also not saying that, and I think I can speak for the party here. If I'm wrong, y'all correct me. There's plenty of y'all in the chat. We're not saying that people that look like us who have this story do not deserve to have restitution or some repair. What we're saying is it doesn't come in the form of a West African slave story. They're playing with us. Our genealogy won't prove that. So why would they help people do their genealogy? To find the truth, when right now the average person don't give a damn about their genealogy. So if you say you true to this, and some of y'all gonna be mad at me. You're gonna be mad at home with the news because I'm talking like this, saying what I'm saying. But the way you can shut me up is prove it with your genealogy. I challenge you to go do your genealogy and go find me a whole bunch of chattel slaves. And if you don't understand the difference between chattel and regular slavery, you're not ready to have that conversation over here. No way, bro. We just got to keep it real. So this is all performative justice. Just like she said that they ain't want, this is what this is, y'all. You can hear it all played out. Camilla Moore going and trying to take up for Stephen Bradford, but bro, ain't no way the vice chair could be free of this. Yeah, it sounded good to put it in so you can get pushed for votes. And I always said this was a political play for them. And that's exactly what it looked like. If you can't see it, I don't know what to tell you. This is how the Democratic Party look at Black people. It's all talk. Meanwhile, they got action for everybody else. I'm for neither side. Y'all know home, but I'm autonomous with it. The autonomous party. Shout out to the party. Peace to you. And shout out to all the support y'all been giving us, man. But you know, it's just a homeboy giving y'all an autonomous perspective, speaking on behalf of the tribe and the party. You feel me? So, hey, look, with that being said, like always, y'all keep it positive. Y'all keep it pushing. Appreciate all the support y'all been giving the channel. Tap in, man. Shop with us on the merchandise, man. We ain't asking for no cash out. We not asking for donations. We will provide a service. And if you like this service we provide on YouTube, You can help us keep doing this by not only watching the videos, telling your people about it, but cop some merchandise. We know the economy looking crazy. So when you can do that, do that. But until then, share this with everybody you know. Let them know we covering this all campaign season. On Sunday, we got the podcast. We got a lot of other things that we working on to bring to y'all, but y'all keep showing that love and support, man. On behalf of the party, your homeboy is out of here, man. Peace to y'all till next time, man. I'm gone.
Every day, and I know like you love me, baby, if you feel it.